Oh, they are coming.
Yeah.
Just now keep quiet and then see.
Be quiet.
Currently, fish farming can be done anywhere.
Can I use tap water to start?
No, tap water go to chlorine. The size of the pond depends on your financial ability. You can dig almost as big as a lake. There are several hatcheries around the country now.
But are they hatched also?
Yeah, they are also hatched. In my case, I went to Kajansi. First and foremost, this pond was dug in 1977-78.
Wow.
And by then, there was no idea of doing commercial farming, fish commercial farming. Mm-hmm. It was more or less adventurism of youth. I thought in the evening we'll sit with the friends around the pond, have a cup of coffee, and at the same time
you start fishing. Wow.
But by then I did not even ask myself where was I going to get the fish to bring it here, or how am I going to feed them.
And imagine I have those questions right now with me. Okay.
So what I did, I just assumed that I would go to a landing site with my containers, ask the fishermen, please put so many fish in my container.
I know that's what you do. So there is something else. Okay, before we go there, so tell us, where do I start with when I'm doing fish farming? Where do I start from?
First and foremost, currently fish farming can be done anywhere.
Okay. What do you mean anywhere?
As long as there is water.
Huh.
Because without water, there is no fish farming. And if you have the right water, where the fish can survive, then you can start it. You can start it in a pond, you can start it in a tank. There are so many ways of constructing the tank. You can use dam liners, you can use bricks to construct one. So water is the first important item. You must have it before you think of fish farming. Okay. Then there is a earthen pond. You can dig it, like we dug this one. Yes. Then the rest follows.
Okay. So you mentioned there has to be water.
Yes.
Are there any specific types of water that a fish can survive in?
Yes, they need clean water and oxygenated. Oxygenated because the fish, they have life. Yeah. Especially tilapia. Yeah. They need the oxygen. So if there is no oxygen in your water, don't think of what. Except for catfish, they can breathe from the atmosphere. So there is a little bit difference with the tilapia. Tilapia is very delicate. So can I use tap water to start? No, the tap water has got chlorine. Okay. And it's not good for what. But if you can do maybe, unless you are doing it in a very small scale, you put it in an open container so that the chlorine can evaporate, and then but that is cumbersome. True. It's cumbersome. True. Because you have to first put the water in a container, get the chlorine out, and then it is cumbersome. I understand. So any measurements for the ponds? I mean, the ideal pond I can start with, especially on commercial purposes, and the number of fish that I would require. It is calculated depending on the size of the pond. The size of the pond depends on your financial capability. You can dig almost as big as a lake. If you saw the Kabaka lake. Yeah. That was dug by. It was not. I thought it was natural. No, it is not natural. So we dig the pond according to our capacity, and then it is from whatever we have on the ground that it is calculated how many fish can go in. Okay. Now, like we are looking at this pond of yours. Yes. What are the measurements and how many 20 fish? Meters by 36. Okay. So we roughly talk about 6,000 tilapia. Wow. Wow. Mentioning tilapia, is it the type you have here? I have tilapia at the moment. We stocked it about to almost get into 2 months. Okay. We stocked it with the tilapia.
So what Mr. Abdallah is doing is he's calling the fish.
I'm calling them.
It's interesting. You just have to
Now
clap.
you see this powder form. This is for the starter.
Okay.
This is. But then I've mixed it with some broken maize. Just want to trade them because very soon I'm going to introduce pellets.
Okay. Wow. Oh, they are coming. Yeah. Let's see. They're actually coming. Wow.
Just now keep quiet and then see.
So we have to be quiet. They are coming. They are coming.
Most probably the catfish will die because the tilapia, they are still tiny.
Okay.
And they also fear where the catfish is feeding because they can be eaten. So they avoid.
How long does it take?
No, like for example, because we disturb them for the last 2 days, we are trying to catch them and they are scared. And catfish is very, very intelligent. The minute you get into the water, they sense there is trouble in the water. So they tend to hide. They dig in the banks and you can move with your net several times in the water without getting a single one. They are very, very intelligent. Unlike tilapia. See, they are coming.
Yeah, they are coming. Guys.
Tilapia are easy to catch.
How many times do they feed a day?
When they are still very young, we give them 3 times a day. But now I give them twice, in the morning around 9:30 and then in the evening around 5:30.
Okay. Is there another types of fish?
Which can be farmed? Yes, there are other types. There's miracarp. There are other several types which can be farmed.
Okay, I understand. You mentioned you just stocked 2 months ago.
Yes.
Where do I source the fish from, and what are some of the requirements or handling of this fish I'm sourcing?
There are several hatcheries around the country now.
Oh,
but,
are they hatched also?
Yeah, they are also hatched.
Okay.
So in my case, I went to Kajansi. There is a government project there. And they sell to you the young ones, the fingerlings.
Okay.
So they put it in bags with water and pump in oxygen, so you can travel with it a long distance. But that is with the tilapia. But with the catfish, you just get a jerry can and water, put them there.
And you bring. Okay.
They are not that difficult.
So what are the prices? Like, how much does one fingering of fish go for?
The prices depend on the size. Like, for example, 1 gram normally will start between about 200 to 150. That's 1 gram. Okay. The bigger the size, the more money you pay.
Interesting. What's their mortality rate?
Mortality rate so far, on the very day we brought them, there was only one.
Which died? Which was dead?
Which was dead. And since then, I've never seen another dead one, because if they die, they would be floating.
Okay.
They would be floating. So I've never seen any. The only enemy that we fear are the catfish, which actually had remained here mysteriously, because they eat them. So that's the only threat we have with the catfish.
So how do you deal with that, the catfish?
The catfish, we are trying to trap them and remove them.
Okay. I mean, you're now feeding them, and do they multiply?
No. We bring in monosex, that one sex. And
why?
They give them hormones after hatching, and then they all turn to male. Yes, and the idea is they grow faster and bigger.
Okay.
But if you bring the ones to produce at this age,
they will start producing.
They start producing, and they produce in thousands. So you would have so many fishes in the pond, but when the sizes are very small. But with single sex, they grow faster and larger. There's nothing distracting them.
Okay. And how long do they take to grow? I mean, to mature, and then you start
To
harvesting some
maturity,
fish?
it will take you around 8 to 9 months. That's when they can attain about 1 kilogram. But it's up to you now. What market are you targeting? For example, if you want to sell when they are about half a kg, that's about 4 or 5 months. You can sell them.
Okay, and how much is a kilogram of fish?
A kilogram, the prices vary from about 10,000 to 12,000 per kg.
That's quite some money. Let me take you back to ponds. You mentioned that the water has to be clean. How do you maintain your pond to make sure the water stays safe for those fish?
There is nothing much you do in the water as it is, because before you bring in the fish, it is the water that you have to confirm that is the right water for fish.
Okay.
So when they are already there, maybe when they are still, before you bring them, you fertilize the pond. You use things like cow dung or poultry manure. You put it in, or you use commercial fertilizer like DAP. You put it in so that it will produce the green materials in algae, and because they also feed on that when they are still young. So basically, that's that. And maybe the other thing is you have to have an inlet and outlet for them. But currently we have an, in case there's too much water, so the rest of the water has to go out. Otherwise, it will bring all the fish up and then you lose them. So we have that.
Okay.
But now, as I told you earlier on, we blocked the inlet because of the activities. So what we do now, we pump the water here if we want to add in more water. You don't want water from outside? No, I don't want water except rainwater and what comes from the ground.
Rainwater is okay?
It's okay. In fact, rainwater is good. It has a lot of oxygen. It collects oxygen from the atmosphere.
Okay. And then external, besides water, there are no external threats to this?
You have to keep the place clean. Because when it is clean, like snakes and what, they don't want a clean place because they also have their enemies. They are seen, so they avoid a clean place. And then there is otter. But the Uganda have it in Muziro. Ngonge something. It is like a squirrel.
Okay.
So that one also, if it comes to the water, it can eat fish. Yeah. But otherwise, basically, the birds, we don't have them around here which feed on fish. I don't see them. But when they were, because what actually at one time we had done, we had ropes run all around. Across.
As scarecrows.
So when they see from the from above, as if there is a net.
Okay.
On the phone. Yes.
That's so scary. I'm seeing a net across the water. What is it for?
We still have in some few catfish.
Oh, you mentioned the catfish.
So we have put the net to trap them. We want to get rid of them.
Okay.
Because our target now is to rear tilapia.
I see.
And if the catfish is still there, they feed on the tilapia.
Okay.
So last time we trapped about 12 of them. So when I was giving food, I realized there are still some. So we have put the net to try and trap them. I
have an interesting scenario. So I have my mom. We like fish a lot. She went to the market and she bought fish. And then we cooked and all that. And then she was like, "Where did you buy this fish from?" I was like, "From there." And I was like, "That fish is farmed. It's not so sweet. Me, I like the other fish from the lakes." How do you explain that scenario? Is it true that this fish you farm here doesn't have that kind of taste?
That thing has never crossed into my mind, so I don't know. I think it is all in our
mind. Are you sure?
I don't know.
But what could be the most plausible explanation
but maybe
for that?
Also the cook might matter.
Interesting. You know, our parents are really good, particular with taste. They can tell.
But you see, even like the exotic poultry, people will tell you, enkoko enzungu teziwo.